Another edition of the San Francisco 49ers Report is coming your way. My name is Chase Senior, and of course, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making this show a part of your day. Coming up, Niners sign a linebacker to a 3-year contract. Also, San Francisco, they are having a visit with a very well-known wide receiver in Gabe Davis, who I believe is a great fit for the Niners. Are the Niners closing in on a deal with him? All of that coming up, but put out a video a little bit earlier. Niners rookie minicamp winners and losers. Rookie minicamp taking place on Friday and Saturday in Santa Clara. Who won the weekend? Who lost the weekend? Check that video out. It's humming right now here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. Let's begin with this roster move for the Niners. They have signed UDFA linebacker Stone Blanton to a 3-year contract. That is very rare that a UDFA gets a deal this length with this amount of guaranteed money, and so clearly the Niners liked him in the pre-draft process and the post-draft process, and they envision him potentially having a role for this football team for the foreseeable future. UDFA, who played at Mississippi State after beginning his college career at South Carolina, a team like Oregon was also looking into him once he hit the transfer portal, but he did end up going to Mississippi State. This deal over 3 years does include $92 million in guaranteed money. And so at the very least, it looks as though the Niners look at Stone Blanton as a player who could be a special teamer, maybe develop into an off-ball linebacker at some point, and maybe to start his career, he could end up being a primary practice squad type of player. If you remember Evan Anderson as a UDFA last year, the Niners gave him like $200,000 in guaranteed money, and so they looked at him as a player to put him on the practice squad. He could fit well there. If we develop him, we can elevate him to the active roster. What happened about 3 quarters through the regular season in 2024? They elevated him to the 53. He was on the game day roster, ended up playing well, and now going into 2025, looks to be a very good depth piece, rotational player with the opportunity and the potential to develop into something more than that. Blanton in his college career, 184 tackles, 6 TFLs, 3 forced fumbles, 1 pick, and 1 fumble recovery. Played his most football this past year in 2024 at Mississippi State, where he made some huge plays for that program. 125 tackles total this past year. His 95 assisted tackles were the most in college football. He was also one of the most productive tacklers in the SEC in 2024. Also last year, 4 TFLs, a half sack, and 3 pass breakups. Really made himself a household name for Mississippi State and in the SEC as a very good and instinctual off-ball linebacker. Has pretty good size at 6'2", 230. He is a quick reader with really good instincts and very good discipline at that linebacker spot. And you just think of that position, right? As an off-ball linebacker, your eyes are having to be in so many areas. You're having to read and react so much. You have to make plays against the run, plays against the pass. You have to worry about out routes and crossers and seam balls going right past you. And so when you're in that middle third of the field and you're playing that off-ball linebacker spot, and for him, he was one of the leaders of that Mississippi State defense, you have to be cerebral. You have to have a really good feel. The best linebackers have those types of traits. Stone Blanton showed me that while in college, especially in 2024 when he really started to play a lot. And so that good awareness allows him to make plays, be at the right spot at the right time, cause a lot of disruption. He can also slip blocks well. That's important because one of his biggest weaknesses, limited athletic ability. I would say he's below average there. But the Niners have been able to find some really good linebackers, either later in the draft or as UDFAs, who might not test to a crazy level in the pre-draft, right? But they make up for that with having a high football IQ, with being very heady, with being able to play with instincts and feel, because that allows you to read and diagnose plays. They got Fred Warner in the 3rd round. Dre Greenlaw was a 5th rounder. Aziz Al-Shire was a UDFA. Think about a safety like Talanoa Hufanga, who played a little bit of hybrid linebacker. He wasn't blazing fast in the pre-draft. His athletic testing numbers on the relative athletic score weren't ridiculous, but he had some of those other traits that Stone Blanton has. He can miss tackles at times because he does have a lack of burst. He's probably about a 4'6", 4'7", 40-yard dash guy. He didn't test in the pre-draft process. I couldn't find any 40 numbers, but based upon play speed and what he ran coming out of high school, probably somewhere in that range. Again, the guaranteed money here and the years, pretty notable. Not often do you find a UDFA linebacker who signs a 3-year contract and he gets nearly $100,000 in guaranteed money. And the Niners signed him after he did not partake in rookie minicamp because he got married. Congratulations to him, and now he gets an NFL contract. And this Niners linebacking room, it's an interesting room going into 2025. You know Fred Warner is going to be the man in the middle. Best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. But weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker, those positions are up for grabs. D. Winters and the rookie Nick Martin, probably the leaders in the clubhouse, in my opinion, right now, to get those spots. Tatum Bethune was a 7th-round pick 2 years ago, 2 drafts ago. You have Jalen Graham, who you took out of Purdue in that same draft as D. Winters. Luke Gifford is primarily a special teams player. Could he end up being something more than that? Curtis Robinson was having a good training camp in preseason last year, and then he injured his knee. And so we've seen crazier things happen. I don't think that Stone Blanton is firmly a part of that linebacker rotation, getting off-ball snaps in 2025, but I do think that he can help right away, potentially on special teams. And he did end last year pretty strong. 14-plus tackles in 3 of Mississippi State's final 4 games. And he plays a Niner style as far as that linebacker position goes. I'm sorry to interrupt this great show, but a quick reminder to subscribe to us here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. Again, my name is Chase Sr. Some people say Chad in the comments section. I'm not a Chad, nor is my name Chad. It's Chase Sr. But when breaking news happens, I always have you covered. So lock us in, hit that sub button as we approach 162,000 subscribers. So topic and story number 1, Niners signing Stone Blanton, the linebacker, on the back half of the show. Could the Niners sign a well-known wide receiver, Gabe Davis, in Santa Clara today for a visit? Could that lead to pen to paper? First, if you want to get a Niners jersey in the lead up to the 2025 season, plenty of jerseys available. If you want other merchandise or just items for your man cave, Fanatics has it all. So you use our link down below, chatsports.com/49jersey. It will take you to the Fanatics site, and once arriving there, you will see a whole page of Niners jerseys. Current players, former players, scarlet red, road whites, 94 throwbacks. You can also get a Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott jersey if you want. Get ready for the upcoming 2025 season with our friends at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/49jersey. Get your jerseys today. So Coach Yak, who is kind of a Niners aggregator on X, actually broke a story late on Sunday night that free agent wide receiver Gabe Davis flying to San Francisco to meet with the Niners. And then on a national scale today, Jordan Schultz tweeting this out this afternoon that the Niners are hosting former Jags and Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis on a visit. And he got released by the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, so he is free to sign with any team. I like the player. I like the fit. There are strengths to his game. There are weaknesses to his game, and we're going to talk about all of it. What I like, 6'2", 225. He's only 26 years old. The Jags did release him because he didn't pass his physical. So he only played 10 games last year. Season cut short due to a knee injury, but according to some of his teammates, he never complained about that injury. Kept playing through it. He's very tough. He's one of the top run-blocking wide receivers in the NFL. He is an outside threat who can win with his size. He can also run very well. There was a reason why the Jags signed him to a 3-year, $39 million contract. This guy can play, and he especially plays well in the playoffs. When he was playing for the Buffalo Bills, he was one of their top options, arguably their number 2 receiving threat alongside Stephon Diggs. And over his last 4 years, he was a 4th-round pick out of Central Florida. You see some of the production. What's very intriguing if you're the Niners, it's the size, it's him being able to win on the outside, it's the underrated explosiveness to his game, it's the attitude and the swagger and the toughness that he brings to the field, being a willing blocker. But look at the touchdowns, man. 6, 7, and 7 when he played full seasons with Buffalo. And the lone season that he spent in Jacksonville, really the only year that he's been hurt. What's also standing out here is the yards per catch. In the 3 previous years prior to getting that bag from Jacksonville, nearly 16, 17.4, 16.6. Is he a number 1? No, but you're not signing him to be a number 1. Keep in mind, too, that wide receiver room is unproven. You're not sure when Brandon Ayuk is going to come back. You're relying on a lot of young players, so you don't know what they are yet. And Juwan Jennings, maybe your best receiver outside of Ayuk, is going to be a free agent after this year. Gabe Davis has been able to do a lot with not a ton of catches, 35, 48, 45, before having 20 in 2024. As for the issues, sometimes he does drop the football. His drops by year, he had 2 drops in 10 games for the Jags, 9.1%. In 2023, 4 drops, 8.2%. 2022, 7, 11.1%. And in 2021, 4, 8.2%. 2025 with 11.4. So you'd like to work with him on that, but that might just be who he is. But this is also who he is. In the NFL playoffs, he cooks. In 2021, he set a record for postseason receiving yards or touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. And so in 2 playoff games in 2021, 10 grabs, 242, 24.2 yards per pop, 121 receiving yards per game, and 5 touchdowns. 4 of them came in that one game. And then in 2022, 2 more playoff games, really good production. Once again, he can also be an underrated explosive threat for Brock Purdy and a deep ball threat for Brock Purdy. You're missing that a little bit if Brandon Ayuk misses some time. Demarcus Robinson could also miss some time because of a DUI violation. And so Davis's Pro Football Focus grade on 20-plus yard throws, it has been 96 or higher in each of the last, or in 4 of the last 5 years. In each of these 4 seasons right here up until last year, again, season cut short due to the knee injury. But 98.8 grade, 98.5, 96.7, 99.4. So that added element to this Niners receiving core is very intriguing. And let's just say, Brandon Ayuk is out to start the year. Demarcus Robinson misses the first 3 games. That's the rumor. He might get suspended the first 3 games of the year. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, and Gabe Davis as your 1, 2, 3 punch. I like that. Now, you drafted Jordan Watkins, 4-3 runner. You have Jacob Cowie, who you took in the 4th round 2 years ago. Tariq Owens, Isaiah Nayer, they impressed in rookie minicamp. You have Junior Bergen, who is probably primarily a special teams guy, but he has some pop to his game. But you signed Gabe Davis. There is room for him on this roster. So I leave you with this question. Should the Niners sign him? S for sign, P for pass. Oftentimes these visits result in a deal getting done. Join the conversation and debate down in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe.